When Carol and Richard Blocker go out front, it isn't to see whether it's time to mow. It was a chance event in San Antonio that catapulted them into serious collection and design with cactus and succulent plants.
I grew up in South Florida, and my dad always had cactus and plants growing in the yard down there because it doesn't freeze. And I moved to Texas. I lived in Houston, and we had a lot of tropical plants. And we bought a few cactus at a nursery one time and made a dish garden, and we fell in love with them. And we moved to San Antonio, and they were having a cactus show and sale, and we walked in the mall, and we didn't even know there was a cactus club. And there was vendors selling plants up and down the mall, and there was just thousands of different plants. And then we found out that there was a club, and we joined the club, and that was 32 years ago, and we've been growing them ever since.
When they bought their house, Carol and Richard knew just how they wanted to replace the front yard's languishing trees and dead grass. To start, they shaped gravel-based mounds topped with a gritty soil mix.
I put a limestone base down first and mounded that up, and then just put my cactus mix that I made, sandy, gravelly mix on top of that. Everybody always thinks that they need to dig out and refill in, and it's so much easier just to build up where you can have some contour and some slopes to it for drainage, and you can just build up on top of your normal native soil that we have here. The neighbors weren't sure what was going on at first when I started cutting down the trees, and I told them that I'm going to plant cactus, and it was years before I actually got the whole front yard to where it looked semi-finished, but it's an ongoing, ever-changing garden.
After years of drought, the neighbors are considering a new look too. From the Blockers, they've learned that a well-designed cactus and succulent garden is like any other. It's about contrast in colors, size, and texture, responding to individual needs, and grouping suitable combinations to intrigue the eye.
There's such a variety of cactus and succulents. It's one of the biggest families of plants in the world, and just their shapes and the textures and how they grow, and they're just so unique and different.
Their flowers aren't long-lasting, but like other fleeting garden jewels, their brevity heightens the appreciation.
The cactus flowers are one of the most beautiful there are in the world to me.
They savored their miniature gardens on the backyard patio. Carol and Richard also have an eye for garden art scavenges. It's in fact that they pair cold tender plants with cold hardy ones. In winter, Richard rolls down the sides of his cabana and adds plastic to the ends. Especially tender specimens go into the greenhouse. Oddly enough, it's too much summer sun that can hurt some plants, especially small new divisions.
Everybody thinks that all cactus are going to take full sun all the time, and that's not true. If you walk out in the desert, a lot of times you're going to find smaller cactus growing next to a bigger cactus or to another bush or a lot of them even grow under bushes where they don't even get full sun. And so you want to make little microclimates where one plant's shading another plant, or you can grow a plant next to a rock where it gets shade part of the day. You could tell that they actually will sunburn just like people. If, and their skin will start turning a little yellow instead of just bright green.
And small plants do need some water in times of drought, though not much. Since many of their plants are prolific, they started passing them along.
I love the plants, and I just got to where I thought this is a neat thing to share with other people. And that's another neat thing about it. You can always add some, remove some, change the look, and that's the fun of doing a cactus garden. It's not something that you plant a bush and you have to just leave it this way for the entire life of the garden.